Hello, everyone, and welcome back to True Words Aren't Beautiful for the Just Do Shit Philosophy series. And today we are going to talk about hesitation, delays, and laziness. I thought about this topic today when I had some dirty dishes after I had my daily smoothie, and I figured, okay, so let's just leave the container there and the cap and my spoon, which I used to prepare it when putting the frozen bananas into my smoothie mix. And suddenly I remembered my friend's refrigerator magnet, which said, "What are you waiting for?" That's something that made me remember that whenever I wait for the dishes to be done, whenever I think that I will eventually do them later, I have the exact same sentiment about an hour later. I have the exact same sentiment 2 hours later. I have the exact same sentiment later in the day. And if I don't do the dishes now, I'll never do them. This happens because we always think that everything will take care of itself. Yeah, things that are outside of our control might take care of themselves in a way that we're not expecting or in a way we can't imagine, for better or for worse. But things usually resolve themselves when they're out of our control. Whatever is in our control, however, such as doing the dishes, there is no reason to delay them. If I do the dishes now, I won't have to worry about them later. If I don't do the dishes now, then I leave them in the sink, and I pretend not to think about them, but in the back of my mind, I'm dreading them, saying, crap, gotta do dishes later. And the more I wait, the more mold and flies and cockroaches come to my sink. The more it stinks, and the more my environment reflects my internal mindset. Everything's a mess, everything's filthy, and it's just a life I can't stand because no one's here to take care of me, and I wish that someone were there to take care of me or motivate me. That kind of mindset does not get you to do shit. That kind of mindset makes you paralyzed, makes you dread life, dread living. That's not the way to live. The way to live is to enjoy every single moment, as opposed to dreading every moment. And this extends not just to doing things you need to do, such as dishes, or brushing your teeth, or taking a shower. This extends to the fear of living life the correct way, where you spend your life preparing to do it properly so that you don't lose, you don't screw up. Well, life itself is preparation for living. Think of it this way. If you've ever read those old choose-your-own-adventure books, one of the tendencies some people have is to look at both choices, or more choices depending on your decision tree for each book you read. Look at each choice to make sure that you memorize which is the most optimal outcome. And instead of living with the decisions that you make and getting a bad ending, you try to find the perfect ending, but you end up defeating the purpose of Choose Your Own Adventure, where your choices matter. This is also the same in video games, where you save scum. You spend your time grinding and leveling up so that you can enjoy the game and be unbeatable, because you have all the best equipment, a lot of money, and your characters are highly experienced and skilled. You're level 99, while all the monsters around you are level 5. If you try to do that in life, even though that's actually grinding rather than save scumming, I'll get back to save scumming in a moment, grinding takes a lot of time and takes a lot of fun out of the challenge. It might make some things easier, but in real life, you may not have time to grind. That's a privilege. Save scumming is the same thing as Choose Your Own Adventure. You make a mistake, you reload your save state, and you try again. You don't get to live with the consequences of that, but you do get to keep your loot. You do get to figure out what's coming up ahead of you. But again, there goes the challenge. It's good to save your game so that you can learn and move forward, especially in the Dark Souls games. But save scumming, there's a reason that the game autosaves, and you can't just reload and beat the game easily. You live with your decisions no matter what they are. If you die, but you come back stronger. You learn to solve your problems instead of figuring out a way to be too clever for them. So, applying that to my life with save scumming and grinding, I took the grinding approach to life, where I felt, well, I'm not going to talk to this girl until I learn how to dance, until I learn how to dress better, until I have XYZ skills, such as cooking or singing, and so on. Doing that, I waste a few months, and during that time, another guy swoops in and gets the girl. Outside of romance, look at this when it comes to professional work. Many of us believe that we need to have the right degrees and right preparation. I went to a paralegal program after college. I did a double major and minor in college. I did a lot of internships in various fields. I did a lot of workshops trying to acquire professional skills, many of which I still don't use in life up to now. While it's good to invest in yourself and to grow and acquire skills, those are still things that delay you from living life. They might give you a little more confidence. They might make you feel a little bit better about yourself. But you're not living life fully if you think that you need to prepare to win life. Life isn't a game to be won. Life is a process. Life is the game. Every day you wake up that you live, you've won the game instead of dying. And I say this as a guy who's had multiple periods in his life where I attempted suicide or had suicidal thoughts, like recently, last month, which is why I started this whole series, recovering from suicidal thoughts and an attempt. So, I always thought that I couldn't work in the NGO world or the nonprofit world unless I had a master's degree. It turns out I was just listening to the wrong people, and I was following the ridiculous marketing of graduate school saying, you want to work in a nonprofit? Then you've got to get a graduate degree. There are plenty of people without college degrees working in nonprofits, and they're doing just fine. Likewise, there are other things I tried to do, such as saying, okay, well, I will master this internal martial art, and then I will teach it in order to feel good about myself. 13 years later, although technically I hold the title of instructor, as my lineage-holding teacher said that I'm the only person in the country qualified to teach since he's retired, I don't feel like a master, and I'm not a master. I don't have complete skills, as my other teacher said, nope, you're not done yet. So if I've spent 13 years studying internal martial arts, and 8 years of those here in the Philippines for one particular style, a lot of my life was wasted delaying, saying, oh, I'll have enough income when I finish studying this. That's no way to live. So, the just do shit philosophy means you live life as a process, as I mentioned earlier. It's not a contest to be won, and it's not something to be conquered. Every moment is a gift, and when you appreciate that gift, you see the dishes, and you see the joy of saying, hey, I had a really good meal, I have something to eat them off of instead of eating my food off of a torn-off cardboard pizza box, which I used to do in college when we didn't have any plates or forks. We would save plastic sporks from Domino's or any other mall food court. Take those home, take the ketchup packets from McDonald's, and we'd rip the pizza delivery boxes in half and use them as plates when I was living with one of my roommates. The fact that I have actual plates and utensils, that I can afford them, that I can afford the place to store them in, that I can afford good soap that's non-toxic from human nature, a local social enterprise, as opposed to the cheap crap they sell at the market. The joy of having all that, and the joy of caring for it, caring for what you appreciate, appreciating what you have, makes you so grateful that you want to cherish it and take care of it. And I didn't appreciate what I had before because I felt inadequate, and because I felt inadequate, I felt that everything around me was shit. That is how I ruined my last relationship with my ex-girlfriend Dana. I felt that things could be better, But the real issue is I could have been better and my attitude could have been better. A lot of that also comes from conditioning. Comparison is the thief of joy, Eleanor Roosevelt says. But you also have shitty people, whether it's those in the rat race, your colleagues, or people living their lives in a completely different way than yours and telling you how you should live your own life if you want to be like them. Except, following the just do shit philosophy, you're living according to your true individual nature as opposed to pretending to be someone else or mimicking someone else when their feelings, their values, and what they're good at is not you. My mom and my stepdad had a very strange philosophy towards life, in that they said that you can enjoy your life only when you have certain criteria met, and often that's when you're by the time you're retirement age. My stepfather used to say, unless you have health care, unless you have savings, a retirement fund, you own a house, you own a car, you have dental insurance, and you have no debts, you're not allowed to be happy. You can't possibly be happy, and you shouldn't enjoy yourself because you should be saving and paying off debts. And he would talk about how in the 1950s he worked at both Nordstrom and Macy's, 2 full-time jobs while going to school and raising kids. Obviously he's exaggerating because his own kids tell me otherwise. And he expects the world of the 1950s and the 1960s, the post-war economy and the economic boom in America. It was not the same as the mid-2000s when I graduated college and we had the Great Recession. Not to mention that a lot of my life I was told just go to school and you'll get a job. No, going to college doesn't guarantee you'll get a job, because my parents told me just go to school, we'll pay for it, and you'll get a job. That didn't happen because I ended up taking out student loans and paying for school anyway. And then I was ridiculed for that, for taking out loans, but I took out loans because they didn't pay. They would forget to send tuition on time. So, I was told to not worry about work, school would guarantee I would have work. Then, when I got work, it was never good enough. And whenever I got work, it was because I was lucky and I was lazy. I could work 2 jobs a week and a Sunday gig, but it would never be enough for them because it wasn't considered real work. I mean, I was earning income, so I still don't know why that's real work, but if they're talking about having a career, then I didn't follow the normal career track, whether it was what I thought I wanted to do or what they believed I should do. So, part of the laziness, the hesitation to live life, if you feel inadequate, if you feel your life is not the one you want because you're not doing it right, that is, again, a similar sentiment that I've had. The whole save scumming, or the whole grinding to live life the right way. Life is a challenge, and dumber people have succeeded at it. Dumber people have found more joy, even if they don't do it right. That is called just doing shit. It doesn't need to be perfect, you just do it, just like you just live life. By not appreciating the gift of life, or the gift of now, and the gift of everything I have, especially in comparison to others, I was a whiny little bitch. By comparing my life and saying, woe is me, saying I don't have what my ex-girlfriend has, which is her buying her own house. I don't have a family like some of my classmates do. I don't have a normal career and stable income. And yet, they compare themselves to me and say I have freedom. So, when I compare what I do have that many people wish they could have, like freedom or this great location and this place and 2 great dogs, my experiences and my insights that people actually enjoy hearing about, that is gratitude. That is something to be grateful for. And it's easy to not be grateful for what you have in life when you're focused on your failures as opposed to your achievements, no matter how insignificant you believe your achievements are. So, going back to that, by delaying doing the dishes, it's because I felt a disconnect from life, a loss of self-respect. When I leave things be, especially dishes, I lose opportunities. I get stuck in my thoughts and end up imagining a life that I can't live because I'm only imagining it and resenting the fact I don't have it, as opposed to dreaming of it and manifesting it moment by moment. How I do that is imagining the perfect life with this question: what does the perfect life look like, and how do I make that happen right now? Well, the perfect life, if I were to think about it, it means that I have a fun, clean, welcoming, and peaceful home. My home is not stacked with clutter. The dishes are always clean. The fridge is full. And I've got plenty of things I can do, whether it's books I like to read or video games I like to play. The dogs are happy. My neighbors are great. I can walk out and enjoy the world because there's always something to do around me. And how do I take away from that dream as opposed to improving it? If I have dishes unwashed, then that means I don't have that dream of a perfectly welcoming place, because dirty dishes sends the signal that, nope, this place is not clean and not inviting. When I clean the dishes, that dream comes into play, and then I remember other things instead of worrying about the little shit I've ignored. So, if you want to live the life you believe you deserve to have, focus on what you dream of and work on that moment by moment. No one else is going to clean up after you. No one else is going to validate you. No one else is going to be there to cheer you on. No one else even wants to be your critic. You have to be your own cheerleader. You have to be your own coach. You have to be your own motivator. Not everyone can afford maids or drivers or servants or housekeepers. There's only you. You want to live that dream, you write it down, you create a plan, and you live it. I've written down a lot of things I want, and part of that is inspiring people and helping people through this channel and showing people this is who I am. Take me or leave me. I accept the trolls, I accept the criticism, I accept the passive aggression, because at the very least, I can say, I did this. Did you? Did you try anything at all? Or are you just typing behind a keyboard because you're miserable? I don't have the highest quality videos. I might talk way too much and have videos that are way too long. But here I am doing something that I was scared shitless to do for years, even just a couple weeks ago, and here I am doing it because I enjoy it. Some people enjoy what I do, others just click through or downvote what I do. It doesn't matter. I'm just doing shit. Where I see this going, it could be huge, it could be medium, it could connect at least with a few people that my messages and my stories resonate with. But ultimately, this gives me joy and release, and allows me to track my own progress and live in the most sincere and authentic way possible, being who I am, Johnny C. Johnny C, who has lived an interesting life, Johnny C, who loves his dogs, Johnny C, who is a font of creativity, a fountain of creativity, Johnny C, who loves nature, Johnny C, who is very vulnerable, Johnny C, who still loves Dana, his ex-girlfriend, Johnny C, your friend. As Eminem used to say, I'm everything that you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would you say I am? Alright, that's enough babbling for now. Thank you for watching.